Okay. All right, so let's start. Today in this lesson, we are going to order some trigonometric values. Okay, we are going to learn how to order them without using a calculator. Using the unit circle, we are going to learn how to order them. So let's start with this. Sine of 10 degrees, sine of 110 degrees, and sine of 230 degrees. So on a unit circle, this point, as you already know, this point represents 0 degrees, and this point represents 90 degrees. So let's put the 10 degrees. It must be somewhere around here. So this is the 10 degrees, let's say. So, and then let's put the 110 degrees. It must be larger than 90 degrees. So from 90, let's go 20 more. So this is, let's say this is 210 degrees, right? And 230. So, you know, this is 180 degrees. And from 180 degrees, we should go 50 more to get to 230, or from 270, you should go back 40 degrees. So this is 230 degrees. These are the intersection points of the unit circle and the terminal side. This is our terminal side, for example, for 10 degrees. This is going to be my terminal side, and this is going to be 10 degrees, but I'm not going to write these. I'm not going to construct these angles, okay? For example, for 210 degrees, this is going to be my terminal side, and this angle is going to be the positive directed angle, 110 degrees. Let's just erase them. So the sine value is the y-axis of, I'm sorry, y-coordinate of these points, right? So the y-coordinate of this intersection point is going to be sine of 10. If you use your calculator, you will see a number. If you just type sine of 10 degrees, you will see a number between 1 and 10, 1 and 0, a number between 1 and 0, and it is closer to 0, right? It is closer to 0. Okay, so this is going to be, this point is going to be sine of 110 degrees. This point, and let's the y-coordinate of this point is going to be sine of 230 degrees. Do you have a question? Okay, so let's order them. Which one is the greatest? This is our number line, vertical number line, as you see, y-axis. So sine of 110 degrees is the greatest one, right? Sine of 110 degrees. And then sine of what? Sine of 110, then sine of?
Sine of 10.
Sine of 10.
10.
And then the smallest one will be sine of 230 degrees. Yes. Okay, so this was the first one. The second one is going to be this example. We are going to order these cosine of 50 degrees, cosine of 170 degrees, and cosine of 260 degrees. So let's start with the 50 degrees. This is going to be, let's say, 50 degrees. So 170, this is going to be 170 because it is 180, and you can go back 10 degrees. And if this is 270, this is going to be 260 degrees, right? So the cosine value is the x-coordinate of these intersection points. So this is going to be my cosine of 50 degrees. And you see this point is going to be cosine of 260 degrees. And this is going to be, this point is going to be cosine of 170 degrees. You see, it is really closer to -1. This is -1, and this is, 1, because the radius is 1. So let's order these. Let's order from the smallest number to the biggest number. So the smallest one on the unit, on the number line, this is our x-axis, and on the number line, the smallest one is the most leftmost, which is the leftmost here. Cosine of 170 is the leftmost, so this is going to be the smallest value here. And then we have cosine of 260, cosine of 260, and then we have cosine of 50. Cosine of 50 degrees is the greatest value here. You can ask your questions if you have. Okay, now let's look at this example. It may be a little more, it is not really a difficult question, but we are going to do it with the same idea. But it may be a little bit complicated here. There is a exception here. I'll show that to you. So this is, let's say, 20 degrees. And this is, let's say, 80 degrees. So we are going to be finding the sine values of 20 degrees, which is the y-axis. So this is sine of 20 degrees, and this is going to be sine of 80 degrees. Now, 140 is going to be between them, or it is above sine of 80, or it is below sine of 20 degrees. How do I understand this? So in order to understand that, you can just take the symmetry point of this point with respect to y-axis. So, this point is going to be the symmetry point of this point with respect to y-axis. So, this is 20 degrees, right? 20 degrees, this positive angle. And we can also say that this negative angle, it is negative 20 degrees, but let's write 20 degrees. They're actually equal in measure, okay? They're equal in measure. So, but in order to get 140 degrees, from 180 degrees, I have to go 40 degrees back, right? 40 degrees clockwise in order to get 140 degrees. So you see, this is 20, but I have to go 40 degrees. So that means sine of 140 is just between sine of 80 and sine of 20. This is sine of 140 degrees. It's between them. So now we can say that the greatest one here is sine of 80 degrees. And then sine of 140. And then sine of 20. Sine of 20 is the smallest one. Sine of 80 is the largest one. Greatest one. Anyway, that's it. These are the 3 questions. Now, I'll give you another question. You are going to try it on your own. You are going to order sine of 220 and cosine of 220 degrees. Which one is greater? Which one is smaller? You are going to find it out. I'll give you a hint. You can, if you think you can do it, you can start doing it. Okay. Or I'll give you this hint. You can listen to this hint, and I'm going to give an example about that hint, and then I want your answers. I want you to answer it in 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. So the longest side in a triangle is opposite the largest angle, and the shortest side is opposite the smallest angle. Let me explain what that means. Let's say this is a scalene triangle. That means, let's say the length of the sides are different. So let's say this is 7 units, this is 6 units, and this is 5 units. So this is our triangle ABC. So AB is here longer than AC, and AC is longer than what? BC. BC is shortest, AB is longest side here, because 7 is greater than 6 and 6 is greater than 5. So the angle opposite to these sides, for example, AB, the longest side, so the angle C, the measure of angle C is going to be the larger angle, the largest angle. And then in the middle, we are going to have the angle opposite to 6. What's the angle opposite to 6? It is B. So the measure of angle B is smaller than the measure of angle C, but it is the larger than the measure of angle what? The angle opposite to 5, which is A. So this angle is going to be the smallest angle. I hope you understood this. If you have a question, you can ask. 7 is the longest side. So the side of the angle opposite to 7 is C. It is the measure of C is the largest. It is the largest angle. 6 is middle. So the angle opposite to 6, it is B. It is the middle angle here. And this is the shortest. So the smallest angle is going to be angle A. You can try doing this question. And let me actually give you an example about this. For example, sine of 40 degrees, cosine of 40 degrees. I'm going to order these two values. I'm going to find out whichever is greatest one. And for this example, you can send your answers with EduPage or WhatsApp, okay? All right, so let me explain. If you just listen to this, it is going to help you. 40 degrees. Let's say this is 40 degrees. Let me draw the terminal side. This is going to be my terminal side, right? So that means this is 40 degrees. Let me just put my cosine of 40 here. This is cosine of 40 degrees. And here this is sine of 40 degrees. Okay? So now, this is 90, right? 40. And what's the measure of this angle? If the measure of the angles add up to 180 degrees, so 90, 40, it must be 50 degrees. So in this triangle, the length of this side is equal to the length of this line segment, right? And it is sine of 40. So the length, we are talking about the length, it is sine of 40 degrees. And now we are talking about the length here. If it is cosine of 40, the length of this side is going to be cosine of 40 degrees. And the length of the hypotenuse, which is in side opposite to 90, it is 1. You already know. But we are going to order these two. So as you see, 40 degrees is smaller than 50 degrees. So the angle opposite to 40. What is the angle opposite to 40? It is sine of 40. Sine of 40 is smaller than, what is the angle opposite to 50 degrees? It is cosine of 40 degrees. One more time. Here, 40 degrees is smaller than 50 degrees. 40 degrees is smaller than 50 degrees. So the side opposite to 40 is sine of 40. This side is shorter than this side. Okay? So that means sine of 40 degrees is smaller than cosine of 40 degrees. That's it. This is going to be our answer.